Yeah, excited to be back in the USA. Anytime you get to play at home, it was good to be able to practice. That helps. We're getting more healthy as we move on, and obviously a great road environment at Illinois. And, man, we learned a lot from that game. I love the competitiveness of our team the second half, and, man, I love our team. I really do. I love being around them. I love the way that we've responded, and our best days are definitely ahead of us. But we know we're facing a great Milwaukee team. When you schedule teams in the preseason, you try to find teams that will make you better for non-conference. I mean, there's a lot of ways, and Coach Lundy is one of my favorite people. He's a great coach. And their teams are unbelievably hard playing. And so we've got our hands full and looking forward for the opportunity to compete.
Seeing your team battle on the road in a ranked matchup, was there one thing that after watching the film you saw that you need to progress as a team moving forward?
Yeah, you look sharp, by the way. Our team hadn't had enough adversity just in regards to like how difficult it is to defend really good players all over the court. And truthfully, just the way they isolated us and the way they defended it, the way that they attacked us, we didn't play well enough defensively guarding the ball. And it was obvious. We made some adjustments at halftime that I thought were great, and we guarded a lot of their actions better. We didn't let them, and then we had a few falter late. Foul trouble got us in a bind. And so it's just hard to replicate foul trouble and what happens when you have to play people extended minutes because of foul trouble. And, we get a few bodies back, and that'll help with the depth of what we're doing. But, man, we had a lot to learn on the defensive end in regards to how we need to defend in space and how well we need to be better at being physical on the glass and rebounding. I mean, if you ask me two things, those are the two things that jumped out the most.
And I'm curious. It's been kind of a broad talking point across college basketball, the G Leaguers being able to come back to college basketball. I'm just wondering if you had any thoughts on that.
Yeah, in regards to G League players, I think what we're all seeing is that nothing's normal, and you can't honestly think within the boundaries of how we've always done it in college basketball. And so, I think there's a lot of guys that, if you have the opportunity to play in college and the direction we're going, as long as we're all on the same page of what's allowed, then I'm for more opportunities than less.
Coach, so you announced yesterday the assigning of Dari Spears. Just kind of tell us what you like about him, looking forward to the future. Yeah,
man, I love Dari. I've known Dari and his family for a long time and watched him play growing up. I was the head coach at North Texas. His brother was playing at the Colony High School, which is right down the road. So I had watched his brother play, and the head basketball coach there was a Red Raider, and so I'd always go into town. And then we started recruiting him when he was younger a few years ago and went into the Colony, and now he's transferred schools. And Dari is one of those guys that people love the way he scores, but I love him as a basketball player. I mean, makes the right plays. He got hurt this past summer, so he didn't have the ramp that maybe would have given him more notoriety as a player. But the way he's playing right now for Dynamic, and he's got a great coach, they're really competing at a high level, and he is, and he's being productive. And I think he's a great defender, and I just think there's not really anything he can't do. He's got great length and size at the guard spot. And like I said, we just love his family and love what he's about, and we're really excited that he's going to be a part of our program.
Coach, how does Milwaukee challenge you?
Well, first and foremost, they play really hard. I mean, they don't back down. They're one of the best teams at being disruptive defensively. They change defenses some. They're active. They're aggressive. They're an awesome offensive rebounding team. They attack you on offense and score with pace. They move with pace. They're just a really hard-playing, tough program that every possession they're in the mix. They don't back down from anybody, and I honestly respect the way they compete. And if you ask me anything, that's what I think gives you a chance to win on the road is your competitiveness. And so they obviously can score it. They got guys that can make perimeter shots. They can score in different ways. They move the ball well. But to me, they're disruptive in how they play defensively, and they're a great offensive rebounding team.
How do you feel like your team needs to, what are the things other than defense that your team needs to improve on?
Well, in this game specifically, it's taking care of the basketball and being composed and how we play. We turned the ball over, which I think was uncharacteristic of us in the Illinois game. We got a little sped up. Got guys out there playing against really good defenders with size and length and second-guessed ourselves. You just got to stay in attack mode and be strong and physical with the basketball and make the simple play. And we've got the right players, and that's what's fun about this. I mean, I love our team. So I just think we need more time together and need more practices and need more games to see it, to see our best come out.
What's the biggest thing that you've learned about this team dealing with a loss so early in the season?
Well, I think there's a competitiveness and then there's a shock. There's two different versions that you get from guys, honestly. And part of it is I really appreciated JT Toppin and the way he competed. And last year we had talked a lot about what he did defensively, and I thought he took major ownership at half. And if you listen to him talk after the game, he said he had a rough start and he let it impact him negatively. Well, some guys on our team hadn't been a part of enough of these games where they looked almost shocked, like, how is this happening? Why is this happening? They don't understand it. I thought JT's composure, his physicality, and then the way he guarded Stojakovic in the game showed a lot of growth, and I thought that was a good building block for everybody else in our program to see, okay, when things don't go your way, this is how you respond and this is how you compete. And it was a learning experience for a lot of the new guys, because other than Christian Anderson, everybody that played wasn't on our roster last year. So really awesome to see those guys step up in that way.
Can you talk a little bit about Lawan and just his impact so far on the team in that game?
Yeah, Lawan was fantastic. I mean, probably one area that wasn't communicated well enough after the game was how well Lawan played offensively. He's just got to keep getting better defensively, and as a rebounder, he's got some instincts to be disruptive, but really it's more about how fundamentally sound he can be defensively and play without fouling. And we got in trouble because of that. I mean, we left our feet, and a lot of the guys, we took ourselves out of position, which give them credit. They're a good offensive team, so it does that to you. We'll need to make a jump in regard to that, and Lawan is leaning into the tough things and really excited about what he's doing and what he's capable of.
Coach, you mentioned in your opening statement the response the team has had. Just talk about what that response has been, either from the veteran guys, the guys coming back, they've been leading this team, or even those new guys. What response did you see from them in practice this week?
Yeah, well, one thing, we got back and we watched film the next day, and everybody got treatment, and there was just like, hey, we're getting right to it. No excuses for why things didn't go our way. It's lean into getting better, and everybody is just they love basketball. It helps, and it's the most underrated part of this is there's a lot of gain from playing college basketball right now, and you can look at it for what you get from it, but if you love it, then you're gonna show up because you wanna play, and it is a game. So how do you appreciate actually playing basketball every day? And this group does. They just love basketball. And then what separates us and what I think will make our team special is they are all really good guys, and they love being around each other. So what everybody did, they showed up into the building and everybody got treatment, and you saw there's like an energy for wanting to be there, not like, oh, we got to go in and listen to film, or whatever it may be. I mean, you can see it on people's faces and how they engage. Our guys are engaging in the right way, and then we had a really competitive practice. And that's what you like to see. You don't want to see guys go through the motions. You want to see there to be an elevated energy to the way we compete, and that's what this team has done in the way we've responded to losing at Illinois.
And then back home, maybe not as much noise with the basketball team this week. So just talk about that crowd support and having, Raider Riot and the fans here in the building.
Yeah, I want to mention this because I've got nominated, I think would be the word, to speak to the student section. before the football game. And we went out to Raiderville and got to hang out with the students. And I'm telling you, we do have the best students. I can't emphasize that enough, what an impact and what a joy it was. Because there's a lot of great places to eat and places to go if you're a student in Lubbock, Texas. And for us to walk through the week before we played BYU in football, and for all that whole area to have all those students just camping out there, it was like, honestly, it is, to me, we have a great education that you can get here. We have a great community. We have great people on our campus. But when you get to do life with students in a common way that everybody gets to be on the same team together, there's nothing like it. And so I just wanted to commend our students for how amazing they've been in engaging with this and enjoying it, but also doing it in a way that I think builds us to be better. And so I did communicate to the students before the football game the other day, but I just want to reiterate how awesome we've been at making things better and getting better, like just how the students interact with the visiting teams and how we compete and how we support our own teams. It's just been the best, man. So I have so much respect, and they make a big difference in our games. I've said this, but we lost a couple of conference games last year in Big 12 play, and both of them when our students weren't on campus. And so I just want to keep encouraging them and leaning in and enjoying what we get to do as teams, and they make such a difference. And so I'm thankful for them and how they continue to support us and how much fun it is to be on their team.
Jaylen got to show off some of his explosiveness in Illinois, but just kind of watching him these first 3 games, it looks like he's got 2 versions of his jump shot from 3, one where he's kind of high points, other where it's a quicker release. Is that something you guys – does he have both in his repertoire? Is it kind of finding that perfect balance between the two? Yeah,
great question. Well, he does have an unbelievable vertical, right? So when you have those talents, it's like, when do you use them and how do you use them? And y'all know this, catching, shooting threes and shooting a jumper is difficult. Shooting them off the bounce, you can elevate and get over the top of people. So I think he's got to utilize both of them. Specifically, his ability to elevate and make shots off the bounce is the time to mostly do it, unless it's late clock and it's a high contest and you're going to have to take a difficult one. Then you may have to shoot one where you shoot more of a jump shot. But he works on both of them. And I think what you find at this level, it's not necessarily the technique that you have. It's the pace at which everything's happening that you start to maybe shoot a more difficult one early in the game that you lose confidence because it's too tough of a shot. And then the ones that you're open, you already have missed one and you're a little bit panicked. And so I'll tell you, I think as you jump levels, and he's doing it because he's played at a high level, and I just mean like the closeout speed and how quickly everything's changing. And he's playing with JT Toppin. You're playing with Christian Anderson. You're playing with guys that can play. So like, how do you take a good shot as opposed to taking a difficult shot early? So there's 2 components to, I think, Jaylen Petty getting confident. One is just continue to take the right ones. And the more you take the right ones, the more you'll feel confident in it. And then the other one is just knowing, like, when you're catching and shooting, there's a preparation that you have to have before the shot happens, that you got to be ready to shoot. And those are the ones that are more of set shots for him, where he's on balance and he's stepping into it. But if it's a late contest or you're shooting it off the mount, he has the talent and skill to jump up and make really hard shots. And so he's learning that, and that is a nuance for him, and there's a lot of things coming at him quickly. And I'll tell you what he is. He's ultra competitive, and he really wants to be a part of this team and help this team win. So I trust him that he can learn to do both and when to do it. It's just going to take us some time for experience to set in and him to be able to navigate all those scenarios.
And then Dakari is the first early signing you've had since you've been here. Is that, you've said before, you're going to focus on the high school guys that you really like and try to get them right away. Otherwise, you're willing to kind of wait for like the late signings like you have. Is this a shift into maybe a little bit more early high school recruiting, or was Dakari just one of those guys that we got to get him now?
Yeah, great question. I think early high school recruiting, and this has been consistent with what we've said, is about just guaranteeing it's the right fit and making sure that we have a really solid understanding of not just who they are as basketball players, but who they are as people. And honestly, across the country, a lot of people are waiting to sign late. And so I think there's probably more of a shift to signing late as we go through this because of the uncertainty of all these rosters and what's this format going to look like and how we put our rosters together. But I mean, you know, Buff, he's unbelievable. And so I just think we've spent enough time together and we finally have an evaluation depth together where we know what we're looking for. And we've gone after some really good players that are really good players at other places that we wanted to sign early. And I think this is the first time that, like, people have seen for our staff that we can play in an Elite Eight and have a chance to compete for a national championship, not just by what we tell them, but what they've actually witnessed. And I think that's honestly been a component in helping us solidify guys wanting to be a part of our program earlier. And you know this, it's all a growth process, and we're growing as a staff. But I can tell you, Kellen Buffington is remarkable. And I can't say enough amazing things about who he is and how he lives his life. And not just as a coach in life with our players, and his ability to evaluate and how he connects people within our program, but his family's amazing. And I just think we're growing as a staff together of how we all want to do this. And I think Dakari's a great example of how we keep improving.